Sonal, Mandeep, I can
जय
see.
यू कैन जय आप
हाँ,
अनुराग को एंट्री दे दीजिए ना और बाकी
अच्छा,
लोगों
अच्छा।
को वी कैन प्रोवाइड द एंट्री ना बिकॉज मैं नहीं थी।
हाँ, तो मैंने आपको को-होस्ट बना दिया है आप दोनों को। तो
मुझे
मनदीप
अनुराग,
सुनील
हाँ
आप।
अनुराग से।
हाँ, तो वेटिंग एरिया में जो लोग भी हैं उनको आप ले ले सकते हो अंदर।
ठीक है, ओके।
सुनील, मनदीप, आई कैन सी।
जय यू कैन जय आप
हाँ,
अनुराग को एंट्री। We can start giving the entries, no? It's already 3 2.
यस,
एक
यस, यस,
মিনিট
यस।
মই ফোন কৰি দিওঁ নেকি? ষ্টাফ ৰুমত কিমান আছে? এই ভৱেন্দ্ৰ, ষ্টাফ ৰুমৰ খিনি লৈ যা হিচাপ কৰি। হা?
Good afternoon, teachers and students. We'll start the session in few minutes, waiting for some more participants to join.
सुनील, आपका ना शायद कंप्यूटर में यूट्यूब का भी ऑडियो ऑन है, तो उसकी वजह से ना इको, मतलब इको तो नहीं, बट फिर री ऑडियो फिर से।
नहीं जय, आई गेस मेरे से तो नहीं है। So, good afternoon, teachers and students. Welcome to the fourth session of Sparkle series. And thank you for your enthusiastic response. आप लोगों से बहुत अच्छा response मिल रहा है. Thank you for that. And I hope आप सब इन sessions को बहुत enjoy कर रहे होंगे and we are learning so much. Last time हमने science of sound में इतने सारे musical instruments बनाने सीखे. We learned so much. And in this session, we are going to learn maths with vegetables. Sounds interesting, isn't it? आज तक हमने सब्जी खाई है, अब हम सब्जी से मैथ्स सीखेंगे. So I hope आप लोगों का the materials that we had given you, cucumber, potato and cutter, आप लोगों के पास ready होगा. So if it's not ready, you can just get it in 2 minutes. And as you all know that, yeah, all the details of the Sparkle series are present on the web page. So I'll show you the web page once. Yes, so this is the web page, and we get all the information related to the sessions, like the joining links and the assignments, the materials, everything on this web page. Mandeep, you can open that session 4 one. Yeah. So you can see the materials required. We have uploaded here cucumber, potato, and cutter. I hope आप सब लेके बैठे होंगे because अगर आपके पास materials नहीं होगा तो अब आप अच्छे से सीख नहीं पाएंगे जो भी आपको session में बताया जाएगा. So please get the materials, everyone. And then before we start the session, we have this Hall of Fame for the students जिन्होंने हमारे साथ अपने project share किए हैं. So this is Arundhati Miravi from JNV Kabir Dham and Krishna Priya from JNV Nalgonda. And then we have schools with the best participation, and that is JNV Indore, JNV Champawat, and JNV Nalgonda. So बहुत सारे students ने हमारे साथ JNV इंदौर से और चंपावत से अपनी project share किए थे. So मैं चाहती हूँ कि आप सब वो projects एक बार देखें. So there's a small video where you can see the projects that these students have shared with us. And आप इसे देखने के बाद you also get encouraged.
This meeting is being recorded.
आप इसे देखने के बाद you also get encouraged to share your projects with us. So let's start.
Hello everyone, we are 11th class girls from JNV Champawat Uttarakhand. We are showing this transverse wave. The transverse wave particles vibrate toward the direction of propagation of wave, and this is showing the direction and movement of the transverse wave.
Greetings to everyone. I am Aisha Agnihotri
And I am Srishti Swami.
of class 11A from JNV Indore. We are going to show our exhibit Dancing Laser inspired by Sparkle series on the topic Science of Sound.
In this experiment, we need a bottle cut from the top and the bottom. And one end we stretch a balloon or a polythene and secure it by a rubber band. And we place a mirror in the center of the stretch membrane.
Then we take a laser light and point the laser beam on the mirror which reflect to the wall. When we speak to the open end, the membrane vibrates which result in the vibration of the laser beam.
Let's show how it works.
Good afternoon. Dha din din dha dha din din dha dha tin tin ta ta din din da dha. Ai giri nandini nandita medini vishwa vinodini nandanute गिरिवर विंध्य शिरोदिनि वासिनि विष्णु विलासिनि जिष्णुनुते.
Thank you.
A very good evening to everyone. I am Pratima Kaushal, student of class 11 of JNV Indore. Today I am going to present the toy we made which is inspired from the series Science of Sound. Here we have a straw and we are going to make different sound from the straw. First we flatten the straw from one end and make a V-shaped cut. When we place the straw in our mouth and blow it, it produces sound. Just remember, we have to flatten the straw very properly, otherwise the sound won't be produced. straw with a smaller length and blow it. We can notice that the sound produced from the larger straw is not that much shrill as compared to the sound produced from the smaller straw, which means the smaller the length, the higher the frequency of the sound, and the larger the length, the lower the frequency of the sound. We can make different types of sound from the straw. When we make different movements of our hand, different types of sound are produced. Just remember to flatten the straws properly, otherwise the sound won't be produced. Thank you.
I am Jai Madhuran of Class 11 from Gandhinagar. I am here to present a project work on fractional. I take some straws and stick them at a fixed distance with the help of sellotape. Then I put some weight on the both sides of the. You can also use dough or clay. Now I strike a straw. Then you will see the transfer wave is generated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mandeep, for showing us this video. And students, आपने देखा that लोगों ने बाकी बच्चों ने कैसे ट्राई किया है हैंड्स ऑन एक्टिविटीज को, घर पे जाके प्रैक्टिस किया है. सो यू नो देखने में जब इतना मजा आ रहा होगा तो जब आप लोग ट्राई करोगे तब कितना मजा आएगा. सो डू ट्राई दिस, प्रैक्टिस करो जो भी आपको सेशंस में बताया जा रहा है एंड जस्ट एनहांस योर लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस. सो ओवर टू यू नाउ, जय.
Sure. Thanks, Sonal, for sharing the work with the children. बहुत ही बढ़िया काम किया है. We were so thrilled and excited to see the work of the children. बहुत ही बढ़िया काम किया है, उससे देख के हमें बहुत ही अच्छा लगा. और हम चाहते हैं कि हमारे इतने emails आए, इतना WhatsApp ग्रुप पे मैसेजेस आए, so that it's flooded with the activities which you all are doing. So we are very happy to see the responses with the work you have done, and we are hoping that more and more students share their work with us, share whatever they have done that they can share with us. It can be an informal video also, so you can just do the activity at your home, at your rooms, and share that particular video with us as well. And if you have questions, if you have some doubts, if you have anything, feel free to write to email to us. My name is Jay, and I'm speaking to you from, let me just change my, just a second. So in the Zoom, somebody, if no, Sonal, if you can help me with switching between the spotlighting. So right now, let me put myself on the spotlight. All right. So yeah. So I am Jay, and I'm speaking to you, connecting to you from the IIT Gandhinagar campus, just besides the Sabarmati river. And the goal of this entire Sparkle series, the goal of whatever we are trying to do is something this, bringing back the gleam in the eyes. आंखों में चमक जो है वो लौट आए, कुछ ऐसी चीजें बनाए, कुछ ऐसे हम अपनी जस्ट लाइक दिस गर्ल्स वर डूइंग, वो अपना एक साउंड का उन्होंने विजुअलाइजर बनाया था कि वो बोल रहे हैं उस हिसाब से, हाउ डज दैट गेटिंग मेकिंग अ पैटर्न, दैट्स व्हाट दे वांटेड टू डू. और स्ट्रॉ से हम अपनी खुद की एक फ्लूइड बनाए, म्यूजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स अलग अलग बनाए. एंड टुडे व्हाट वी आर प्लानिंग टू डू इज बिल्कुल सब्जियों के साथ कुछ बढ़िया से हम जो है वो खेल करेंगे. इट माइट नॉट बी विजिबल टू यू इन द फ्रंट कैमरा, बट आशा है कि आप सभी लोग जो हैं आपके साथ सब्जियां लेके आए होंगे, और सब्जियों के अंदर खूबसूरत गणित जो छिपी हुई है जियोमेट्री से लेके ट्रिगोनोमेट्री से लेके अलग अलग विषयों के ऊपर भिंडी आलू सब्जियों के साथ जो है हाँ आज कुछ काम करेंगे। एंड आई होप कि आप लोग भी अपने पास जो है वो खीरा ककड़ी या फिर लौकी या आलू जो है वो लेके आए होंगे, सो दैट यू कैन डू along with me and we would try to see a beautiful mathematics, absolutely wonderful STEM activities we are planning to do in this particular 1 hour session, and that's the goal of the entire Sparkle series is कि कैसे हम अपनी आसपास की छुपी हुई चीजों में, just like with the A4 sheet we have done, with the very straw which we don't even consider for any useful task apart from drinking the juice and all, उसके बाद उसको फेंक देते हैं, that same object can be used for making such a wonderful toys like the straw. We are also hoping to know some of you making the 3-in-1 toy which we have demonstrated and also shared the link with you. तो बिल्कुल आशा है कि इनके साथ कुछ हमारी जो यही जो पाठ्य उसी खिचड़ी के साथ कुछ साइड डिशेस ये आ जाए, कुछ बढ़िया सी सब्जियों की गणित उसके अंदर आ जाए। इवेंचुअली वी वुड लाइक टू डू various such sessions with the bicycle, with making beautiful lamps from and paper, वो आपके साथ करना चाहें। चलिए, पर आशा है कि आज आप सभी लोग जो हैं अपने साथ एक खीरा ककड़ी जो है वो लेके आए होंगे। कितने लोग जो है यहाँ पे सब्जियां साथ में लेके आए हैं? Can they show me their vegetables? Let me go to the gallery view. हाँ जी, कितने लोग जो है अपने साथ? बिल्कुल, I can see some of the girls are showing their vegetables. बाकी लोग भी जो है जो भी लेके आए, I can see चंपावत से लेके आए हैं। बहुत बढ़िया सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर। व्हाट अबाउट दी ये दक्षिणा जो है कर्नाटका में स्कूल है, वो वाली बच्चियां अपने साथ कुछ लेके आई हैं कि नहीं? आई कैन सी सम ऑफ देम आर शोइंग। व्हाट अबाउट दी अदर गर्ल्स? बाकी schools में क्या स्थिति है? If you can turn on your camera for a couple of minutes for this particular activity, I can see मुर्शिदाबाद से लेके आए हैं। बहुत बढ़िया। That's great to see. We would like to have a activity along with this session. We are expecting that all of you will also do some of the things which we are planning to do with you. जी, I can see the श्री ककुलम जो है स्कूल, वहां से भी लेके आप लोग लेके आए हैं कि नहीं? जी, सोलापुर, व्हाट अबाउट सोलापुर गर्ल्स? Did you manage to get few खीरा along with you? I can see आलू in your hands. बहुत बढ़िया। हाँ जी, ये अनिष्का प्रजापति है, वो हमें खूब सारे आलू दिखा रही हैं। That's great. Please keep that along with you. तो so at the beginning I would like to start with an story, and I'll tell you why I'm starting with this particular story. तो एक राजा के पास खजाने में खूब सारी जेवरात और दौलत जो है वो इकट्ठा हुई थी. The king has a lots of treasure along with him, and after getting so much money he was getting tensed with how should I make sure, or how should I secure this amount of treasure which I have, I belong, or what is the things which I have collected. So he was getting tensed about it. So at one day he announced that I wanted to make a tijori, a lock for this entire treasure, such that it's not easily or nobody can easily open it. So he announced it and give a challenge to it's the people, saying that give me the toughest lock and key set such that my treasure is being secured. So the next day another person came and he says that, hey king, I have made a lock such that it will gonna open up only if it's the same shape is getting passed through the circle, and the same shape is also getting passed through by touching the walls of the square as well. So you see two shapes out there, a circle and a square. The same shape, the key should also getting passed from a circle with touching the boundaries of the circle, and the same shape should also get passed from the square as well. And can anybody tell me the name of this particular shape in a chat box? कोई मुझे बता सकता है कि ये वाला कौन सा शेप होगा which will also gonna pass from the circle as well as it's gonna pass from a triangle? Can anybody tell me in the chat box what the shape is? Meanwhile, let me just cut my cucumber as well. So I can see some of the people are sharing their names. That's great. But what about the shape? If you pass it from a one side, it's gonna pass from a circle. Also, the same shape is also passing from a square. Can anybody tell me what shape is this? Which 3D shape it is? Cylinder, exactly. So if you look at the cylinder, let me just show you in the front camera because the green might gonna filtered in the front one. All right. So let me go to the overhead camera. So now if you look at this cylindrical shape, if you look from the side, if the height of the shape, and its diameter is same, this will look a square from the side. And if you look from the top side, it's a circle, right? So now if you look in the key, it will also pass from the circle while touching its entire boundary, and also from the square shape. It will gonna if I make sure the sides and the diameter is the height and the diameter is same for this particular square shape, then it will be gonna pass by touching the boundary. And this is very easily visualizable shape, isn't it? काफी आराम से आप जो है ये वाली ताले की चाबी बना सकते हो. So king wasn't very happy. This is not the solution. This is not the toughness we are looking at. Show me something more tough than this, right? So the next day, once again, that particular person went and he come back with a challenge saying that, hey king, I have made a lock and key such that the lock will be only and only gonna open if the one particular shape is it's passing from the circle, and the same shape has to be passed from the triangle as well. Now there are the shapes are circle and triangle. Can anybody tell me in the chat boxes what this shape should be? So let me just repeat what the challenge is. The shape should be having from one side, if you look at from the one side, it should be circle, and from another side, if you look, it should be triangle. It should look like a triangle. Yeah. So some of the responses are saying that they are saying the cone shape. Exactly. So on the bottom of the cone, if you look, it looks circular. It has a circular base, and from the side, if you look, it has a triangle. Now the king has become very angry. He is saying that if I'll sue you, I'll hang you if you give me very easier challenges like this. Have a challenge which is so tough such that my entire treasure is secured. So this person goes on do the brainstorming in the night, and on the third day he is coming and he's showing the challenge that the same shape should pass from the circle, the same shape should pass from the triangle, and the same shape should also pass from the square. This is the challenge for making the key. Let me repeat it once again. What the key we have to make, and this particular key, all the JNV girls would also try to make and get the treasure, right? So what is the challenge? Let me once again repeat it. The shape which you have to make from the cucumber, or Loki, if you don't have the cucumber, that you have to do is the same shape should pass from the circle with touching all the boundaries of the circle. The same shape should also pass from the square. The shape should all pass from the entire touching this perimeter of the square, and the same shape should also pass from the triangle. This is the so somebody is saying Khushi, you are saying that it's a pyramid. Just try to make with the khira. Don't tell us the answers in the chat boxes. We would like to spotlight you for the others. Try to cut your khira in such a way that it will pass from the circle, triangle, as well as the square shape. So this is what you have exercise you have to do with your kheera, and I'll let you know the story behind why we wanted to do this particular activity. हाँ जी, so जिन के पास भी खीरा है, कटर है, बिल्कुल वो कट कर सकते हैं. ना प्लीज शो अस योर सॉल्यूशन. जो भी आपने बनाया हो बिल्कुल हमें दिखाइए, एंड वी वुड लाइक टू नो पुट यू इन द स्पॉटलाइट. So maybe we can have a couple of minutes for you to prepare the salad for today's session. बहुत बढ़िया. So for the Purulia girls, is the question clearer to you? क्या करना है वो clear है? What about the Mednipur girls? You can unmute yourself and ask the question if you have. जी, दयाशंकर सर आपने हैंड रेज किया है. लेट मी नो इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चंस और एनी डाउट along with me. So what we wanted to do, the task, क्या करना है वो क्लियर है? Is the task clearer to us? Or you have any doubts? Let me know if you have any doubts. Or let me repeat it for you. क्या करना है? कुकुम्बर में से शेप काटना है. You have to cut this cucumber in such a way that the green cucumber won't be visible to you. But you have to carve. Let me go to the front camera maybe. So we wanted to cut this cucumber in such a way that it will pass from the square, it will also pass from the circle, and the same shape should also be passed from the triangle. The question is clear, but the answer is not coming. That's fine, Kushi. You can you can try to think. All right, kindly repeat. I hope by now. So I can see that the person with the name Shankar Sau is showing me something with the carrot she has done. Let me put her for the spotlight. All right, so I can see triangle. What about the circle? I can see the circle. What about the square? What about the square? So just try to think whether it's a square or not, and then maybe once again we would like to discuss. Thanks, but thanks for no sharing your solution. What about the others? Hanji, I can see Jabalpur. Jabalpur में से कोई कुछ उत्तर दे रहा है. Let me just put you in the spotlight. All right, great. I can see square, sir. बहुत बढ़िया. What about the other shapes? हाँ जी, I was able to see this circle shape, but what about the other shapes? Anyway, जबलपुर, जब भी आपके पास उत्तर मिल जाए. बाकी गर्ल्स, बाकी कक्षाओं में क्या हाल है? Any luck on the making the key? देखिए खजाना मिल जाएगा अगर चाबी मिल जा रही है, आप चाबी बना पा रहे हो. So I can see Anishka has made something. Let me put her on the spotlight. All right. So Anishka, I can see. You can also unmute yourself. I can see. Can you show me the circle first? Hanji. I can see circle a little. Okay, that's fine. Great. What about the triangle? All right, this is a right triangle. Great. What about the square shape? All right. So let us just once again think. Maybe from the sides, if you see, all the four sides are not parallel. So maybe we would like to rethink about whether this is a square shape or not. Maybe we would like to change in the way we cut. साहू सर हैं, मीनाकेतन साहू सर, आप में से कोई बताना चाहेगा? एनीबडी हु हैज गिवन देयर ट्राई? मे बी मुर्शिदाबाद में से कोई बताना चाहे? आर के सिंह सर हैं, वहां पे बच्चियां शांत बैठी हुई हैं. डू यू हैव एनी डाउट्स और यू आर थिंकिंग अबाउट इट? What about Champawat girls? गुजरात में जामनगर से भी जुड़ी हुई हैं लड़कियां, बहुत बढ़िया. Anyone of you have got a chance to do the carving of the cucumber salad बना? Okay. साहू सर कुछ दिखा रहे हैं मुझे. So साहू सर सर्कल दिखा दीजिए. So this is circle, which is great. What about the other shape, sir? ऑल राइट. सो यहाँ पे ऐसा लग रहा है कि स्क्वायर है, बट आप देखेंगे कि ये थोड़ा कर्व्ड सा है. ग्रेट. व्हाट अबाउट द ट्राइंगल, सर? अच्छा अच्छा. सो दिस इज लाइक अ राइट ट्राइंगल वी हैव ट्राई टू डू. ग्रेट ग्रेट. सो स्क्वायर में कहीं पे कहीं थोड़ा बहुत लग रहा है. मे बी वी वुड लाइक टू डू द इम्प्रोवाइजेशन. जितेंद्र कुमार शर्मा सर का आईडी जो है वहां से कुछ दिखाना चाह रहे हैं. So maybe you wanted to showcase? हाँ जी. You wanted to show? आप अपना नाम भी बता सकते हैं मुझे. हाँ जी. Go ahead. हाँ, जितेंद्र कुमार शर्मा सर. You can go ahead with जो आईडी है ना, the girl which is showing the cucumber. She can go ahead. हाँ जी. मुर्शिदाबाद से भी आई कैन सी सम ऑफ देम आर ट्राइंग. ऑल राइट. सो with the time constraint I have, let me just go ahead with what I'm planning to share with you. So now you see, so we are in the cylinder and we have choose this cucumber because it's easier to make the circle, right? आप उसको एक perpendicular यूं चॉप कर देंगे खीरा को. So if you chop the cucumber parallel to on this particular axis, you will get a easily circle. You will get very easily. What about the square shape? Cylinder है तो साइड से आप देखेंगे तो square shape भी बन गया. Now the challenge is about making a third shape, which is a triangle. So now you see an object can have a, let's say for an example, so we try to do this in our visualization of 3D shapes as well, right? If you look a particular object from the front side, so you can look the object from the front side. You can also have a top view and you can also have a side view. So this is what the three view we used to have in our 3D shapes, and this is what the three different shapes we are trying to carve out of a cucumber. So what about the very first these two shapes I have got? Now let me try. So circle is there, square is there. Now let me try to carve a triangle out of the third view. So this is, maybe I would like to see the or I would like to call this as a top view, this as the maybe the front view. So in the side, let me just try to carve a triangle. So what I'll do, I'll try from the middle and I will try to cut it such that the end goes to the this part, right? So you can see that here I have a one part of the edge of the triangle has been formed. Now what I'll do is I'll try it once again. I will try to cut, and now you see that this is another. Let me just clean this a bit. So now you see, can you see the triangle now? So this is one of the triangle. You look from this side, it's a circle. And what about the other side? This is it a square shape? Now you see the sides are parallel to each other. Now if you look at this particular shape, the sides are, so what is the definition of a square shape? The definition of square shape says that all two pairs of the sides should be parallel to each other, plus they also should be meet at a perpendicularly. The one sides from the, so one side should be perpendicular to the other pair of the sides. So for the bottom side, it seems like an it's in parallel, but now you see this particular, the upper side, that has a curvature, and it's actually not a square shape. So many of you have tried to do that, but this is not a square shape. So what we have tried to do, so this is a triangle, this is a circle, but while carving a triangle, the other edge, this particular side, this is no more a parallel and a perpendicular to the other pair of sides. So let's have another try. What I'll do is I'll try to cut another cylinder here, and what we'll try to do, previously we have carved the triangle from this side. Now what we'll try to do is we'll take this particular side and make a slant cut here. Let me just make a slant cut out there. So I'll just make sure that it ends at the sides of, so you have this, so you have a slant cut from the top, and you have got a one edge of the triangle. Similarly, you have to make a slant cut such that it would end at the base of my it will end at the base circle. So let me just apply another cut. All right, so now you see this particular shape has a, let me clean the background a bit so that you can see here. Now what you see, this is my triangle shape. From the bottom, if you look, this is a circle, and now if you look from this side, this is a square. Why it has to be a square? Because this is the side of a cylinder only. This is these two sides are parallel, and if you look at the top, this is also perpendicular to this particular side, so it has to square, provided of course the diameter of your base and the height is equal. This is the one of the solution we are looking. Yeah, I can see some of the girls are showing this solution. Wonderful. And there is a homework for you. There is a challenge we are keeping for you. यहाँ पे टोटल 5 शेप है, इसमें से कोई भी 3 चूज कर लीजिए. Meaning that, let's say for example, here I have in 5 shapes. Choose any 3 shape out of it. Maybe you wanted to choose plus, circle, and a square, and you can have an object, a 3D shape. If you look at it from the one side, it should look entirely a circle. It should pass from this circle with touching entire perimeter of it. The same shape should also pass from the plus sign, and the same shape should also pass from the square, just like what we have done for these 3 shapes: square, triangle, circle. Choose any 3 shape out of this 5, and you should be able to, these are 5C3 shapes out there, right? So you should choose any 3 shapes out of it, and do this exercise of doing this from the Kira. This is the challenge we are keeping, and the one who will do for entire possible of the shape. So you should be able to, I believe 12 shapes should be possible out of this 5C3 combinations. तो 12 के 12 जो कर लेंगे उनको कुछ मे भी सोचेंगे क्या इनाम दिया जाए, but this is we are keeping an open exercise for you. Now what I wanted to ask a question to you is कि जब हमने यहाँ पे इसको काटा, so whenever we had a slant cut here, so the Kira, we have cutted a slant cut, we have applied the slant cut from here. My question is, what shape is this? ये जो आपको बाउंड्री यहां से दिख रही है, so some portion is the outer peel of the Kira, outer peel of the cucumber, and you see a particular a curve here with the light green shade, the inner part of the Kira, the inner part of the cucumber. My question is, what shape is this? Can anybody tell me? ये वाला जो आपका शेप बना वो क्या है? Can anybody tell me in the chat box? Is the question clear to you? सवाल क्लियर है क्या आपको? What we are asking here is, so whenever you have chopped off one of the, let me go into the, so whenever we have from this angle, if you see, ये वाला जो पूरा cylinder था ना cucumber का, so there was a cylinder of a cucumber. What we have done is we have made a slant cut in this particular cucumber. So my question is this: what shape is this? The lighter green part you see, right? This particular part. What shape is this? Can anybody tell me in the chat boxes? Or maybe they would like to unmute themselves. And so I can see there are many of the responses saying that parabola. What are all sure about this shape as a parabola? It looks like a parabola, but this is the shape of an ellipse. And this is what maybe you have learned or you will gonna learn कि cylinder को कभी भी तिरछा काटे. Whenever you have a slant cut to the cylinder, the shape you will get is an ellipse. So let me do that for you. Let me bring in another kheera here. So what I'll do is, in the overhead camera, I will showcase to you that whenever you do this slant cut, so let me first get a cylinder out of the cucumber. So whenever you do the slant cut out of your kheera, the shape you will get is an ellipse. If you look at from this angle, you will get that this particular shape, right? So now what you see is an ellipse shape. Now you will say that this is basically the half ellipse, because why? Because this is, and you can extend it the from the cut parted. ये रहा. So this was. So this is how my previous piece looks like. Let me keep this in a side. So ये हमारा आधा piece था यहाँ पे. This was my half piece, and what you have done is you have chopped off this part, right? So now if I put it like this, now you should be able to appreciate it. This is the half part of an ellipse. So whenever you do the slanted cut of a cylinder, you will get an elliptical shape. It's not a parabola. It's not a parabola. It's an ellipse. But how can I assume that this is an elliptical shape? And for that we have a beautiful model like this. So whenever see that it's an elliptical shape or it's an ellipse, we say that where are the two foci points of that particular shape. वो बोलते हैं ना कि ellipse की definition में दो खूंटे गाड़ दो and you move the thread around it. So where are these two foci points? So you will get these two foci points, and this is something, a beautiful model which is there. This is the power of a visualization. This is the power of or the fun part or the joyful part of doing something by the visual, doing something by your own hand, doing from the cucumber. So cylinder के ऊपर एक ऊपर उसी radius का गेंद रख दीजिए, and also put another ball in the with the same radius inside the cylinder. The ball, these two ball where it will gonna touch, these are the foci points of your ellipse. So this is the slant cut. This you see is an elliptical portion, and where are the focal points? Where are the focal points? Wherever these balls are touching. So you see this bottom ball is touching this particular shape here. This is one of the focal points. And what about the another one? So another one is where the other ball is touching. So one you see here is here, and another you see here is there. Beautiful stuff can be done just out of a cucumber. So इतनी बार हमने अपने लिए सलाद काटा, इतनी बार हमने कभी खीरा काटा, but we have never look this particular vegetable in this particular perspective. And there is more, and there is more which I would like to share with you. अगर इस खीरा का अगर हम पिल रिमूव करेंगे, so let's say for an example, if I make a slant cut, so what I'll do is I'll this is the slant piece I have. So what I'm wanted to show you right now is that, let's say for an example, what I've done is कि ये cucumber को मैंने slant cut मार दिया. My question is that if I remove the peel out of this cucumber, what will be the shape of my peel? ये जो छिलका उतरेगा उस छिलके का आकार क्या होगा? Any wild guesses? What shape of the peel it would be if I remove from this slanted cut a cylinder? Any guesses? Any guesses? I can see Anishka has responded something. What about the other? What about the other? क्या लगता है आपको, जब इसको तिरछा काट दे कुकुम्बर को और उसका पिल जो है, छिलका जो है वो रिमूव कर दे, if I remove the peel of this particular slanted cut cylinder, what will be the shape of this? What will be the removed, and if I keep it flat, what would be the shape you will get? So let me just, I have also brought a locky, so उसको काट के चलिए देखते हैं, because it's easier to know deal with the peel of locky. So let me just cut a locky. बिल्कुल आज पूरी तैयारी के साथ आए हैं कि, so now what I'll do is I'll start from, इसको थोड़ा साइड कर देते हैं. So what I'll do is I'll start from here and I will make a slant cut such that it would end at the another extreme or the another side of the circle. So I'll start from here and इसको I'll cut it such a way that gonna end at the other part. So now you see that this is that one of the solution people have tried, right? तो ये साइड से तो दिखता है ट्रायंगल, यहाँ से तो दिखता है सर्कल, but this is not the square. Mind well, this is not the square shape. Just try to convince yourself why it is not a square shape. Now what I'll do is I try to remove the peel of this particular slanted cut. इसका छिलका रिमूव कर देते हैं. Meanwhile, other can just try to comment on or try to have a guess on what this shape would look like. कैसा दिखेगा जब ये छिलके को मैं नीचे रखूंगा? Let me just check on the chat box. What are the responses by the people? I can see some of you are Sudharani is saying triangle. Somebody is saying pentagon. Great. What about pentagon? I can see pentagon, sine wave, parabola, trapezium. There are all sort of shapes. Let me just remove for you, and then maybe we can have a revealing the answers for this. Almost done. That's it. So now let me put it in front of you, a sheet paper, so that I can also mark it a bit. इसके छिलकों को I have removed the pill out of it, and now let me keep this in a flat manner. What you see here is actually a sine wave. If you cut it very properly, you will be able to see that this is actually a sinusoidal wave, not an approximation, exact. Of course, there are some errors because the peel has not removed properly. But if you see, this is a sinusoidal wave. You remove the pill of your kheera or the loki, the bottle gourd, and you get a sine wave out of it. So there is a something what we have learned in the definition in the textbook, but this is something just in front of you. All we need to get is a different perspective from the objects around us. And what is so interesting that the fun part of is just totally unlimited. What is so interesting about this particular loki is that if you get the area of this particular pile, the area of this particular pile is pi. ये जितना भी area है, we can prove it, both the things, that this is a sine wave plus the area what you are getting out of is the pi value. The magical pi is up here, which is same as if you draw a circle, the base circle of your cylinder. These two are the same thing. ये जो दोनों थे, so this is what the piece you have chopped off. Iska area, the base circle, these area and these area are the same. थोड़ा side कर देता हूँ इसे. हाँ, these both the values are same, and it's actually pi. Isn't it something absolutely magical out here? And we can prove it. And I'm keeping this as an exercise for you. The base circle and the pill, they both have the same, and of course we are assuming that the pi r square is the actual value, but r is assumed as an unit. The radius has been assumed as a unit. Both these are the pi values. Isn't it absolutely beautiful? And why this is important, I'll share you a story out of you. What is more interesting this is कि मौसम्बी ले लीजिए. अब इतनी सब्जियों की बात की, I can see Chandeep Gogoi has few questions and Jitendra has raised their hands. Feel free to interrupt by unmuting themselves if you have a questions. But what I'm trying to say here is that such a beautiful things are there in our vegetables. All we need to get is different perspective. सब्जियों के ऊपर बात कर दी. Why putting back our, or why keeping back our fruits? So मौसम्बी ले लीजिए. मौसम्बी के ऊपर, संतरे के ऊपर अपना प्रकार रख लीजिए. You keep your compass on top of your मौसम्बी. Draw a circle on your मौसम्बी. Don't disturb your compass. Put it on the flat ground. Draw another circle. Both the circle would be having the same surface area. Isn't something magical? Let me repeat what I'm trying to say. Let me show you in the slides. What I'm sharing with you is that, so if I take the compass on the Mosambik, right, and what I'll do is I'll also put it on the flat ground without disturbing my compass. Both of them have the same surface area. You can go and try to calculate and try to prove it with the geometry as well. But this is something, a beautiful part of it. एक कंपास ले लीजिए, उसके साथ करके देखिए. जो मौसम्बी का आपका जो छिलका है उसको रिमूव करके, वो जो कंपास से आपने धरती पे अपना फ्लैट पेपर पे जो है गोला बनाया है उसके साथ मैच करके दीजिए. This would be exactly gonna same. The circle on the Mosambik, the circle on a spherical ball, the circle on your sphere is same as, of course, without changing the compass configuration that you have to do. Both of them have the same surface area. Isn't it something beautiful to try with our vegetables? I was just taken aback. I was just so surprised when I was just thrilled when I was told this particular story. और ये अभी की नहीं है, 2000 साल पुरानी है. This is what has been showcased by Archimedes in his work. 2000 पहले पुरानी बात है. And there is an interesting story about Archimedes which I would like to share with you, is that कि उनको जो है due to breaking some of the assumption at that time, the king has ordered to chop off his head. And when a particular this person came to chop off Archimedes' head, he said that please don't disturb my work. He was showing some of the work over there. Please let me finish and write that particular on the ground. After that you can chop off my head. And a beautiful proof of the volume of a sphere has been derived by him many years ahead of calculus. So in the 11th and 12th grade, you will learn a calculus, you will learn the volume of sphere with an integration and differentiation in the calculus. But just many years before, the volume of sphere formula was derived by him without calculus, without clues, and the proof is so beautiful, so elegant. We have also made a model out of it. I'll show you at the end. But that's where the visualization, that's where the visual part of any 3D shapes and any 3D models come into picture. So I'm not going into the details of the proof. He have derived it up, but absolutely amazing with the use of the lever principle and the definition or just the observation saying that the any cross section at the sphere is or the volume of the sphere is just the cylinder minus cone. With this observation, he has derived the volume of a sphere. And this is a picture of his tomb where the sphere, cone and cylinder you can see from that. And I can keep on going about talking about this particular beautiful mathematics which are there in our fruits. आप जो है वो मौसम्बी को कहीं से भी इक्वल हाइट वाली स्लाइस बना दीजिए. Let me just repeat once again. What I'm saying is, take a Mosambi, make a slice at any particular position, but the slice of the Mosambi should be of an equal height. The pill of that particular Mosambi would be same. This is what the image also trying to show, and that would be equal to the same radius cylinder. तो ये जो blue portion आपको दिख रहा है, Mosambi को बीच में से काटिए, जहां पे उसकी रेडियस काफी ज्यादा रहती है, मैक्सिमम रहती है डायमीटर के पास, एंड ऊपर चले जाइए, थोड़े हाइट पे चले जाइए. If the slice height is the same, then the surface area, the blue portion you see, would be also the same. The peel of the Mosambi slices would be the same if the height is same. Isn't it an absolutely non-intuitive thing to try case? क्योंकि लगता है ना ऐसा कि बीच में तो वो चौड़ा है, ऊपर चले जाते तो रेडियस कम हो जाती है, ऐसा लगता है ना. बट व्हाट द थिंग्स यू हैव टू ऑब्जर्व हियर एज वेल कि शुरुआत में जाएंगे तो कर्वेचर थोड़ा कम है, बट इफ यू गो ऑन द टॉप द कर्वेचर इज मोर, and this is how somehow getting compensated with the reduction in the radius. Absolutely beautiful thing which we can try to observe and try to experiment, try to visualize out of this vegetable shapes I wanted to showcase. The next I wanted to have a question for you. So if you look at the cylinder, basically the cylinder you can also try to think of as a circle on top of each other, but the radiuses are constant, isn't it? आप खीरा को देखेंगे या लौकी को देखेंगे, so this is a cylindrical shape, so cylinder can be assumed as a circle on top of each other. If you look at the cone, बीटरूट को देखेंगे which is a conical shape, या गाजर को देखेंगे, carrot को देखेंगे, they are of a conical shape. There also you can assume this as a, if you cut it at any position parallel to its base, you will always get a circle. So that is carrot is also a circle on top of each other. The cone is also circle on top of each other, but the radius are getting decreased with respect to height, isn't it? At the cylinder your radiuses are remaining constant, at the cone it's reduced with respect to height. What about the sphere? What about in the Mosambi? In Mosambi also and the sphere also, if you chopped up at any part you will get a circle only, but the radius is decreasing once you are going at height. So as for the cone, so in that regards cone, cylinder, and my sphere are the same, that they are all made of in circles. But for the cone and the sphere as well, the radius is getting decreased. So my question is, then what is the difference between the sphere and a cone? Am I clear on my part about the question? What I'm asking here is कि कोन के अंदर भी हाइट ऊपर जाते, रेडियस कम होती जाती है सर्कल्स की, स्फीयर के अंदर भी जो है वो रेडियस कम होती जाती है. देन व्हाट इज the difference between the cone and sphere? Can somebody share their views in the chat boxes? Let me just meanwhile open an animation which I wanted to share with you. It's where I wanted to share the differences between three solids. Meanwhile, you can give me your responses in the chat box about what is the difference between the cylinder and between the sphere and the cone. All right. So in cone there is a vertex, but vertex is not present in sphere. So here vertex, Khushi, we can also assume that the top of the very top part of the sphere, where the radius becomes or converges to a point only, there we can there is a similarity between both of them, as that the top point is the single point, which I can assume that as a sphere's vertex as well. Cone has a sharp end and sphere has a curve. And absolutely wonderful observation, a girl from the GNV Kolhapur. But we wanted to be at a more mathematically when we say that it's sharp and curved one. All right. Cone is a circular pyramid. Great Khyati. But where I'm trying to make a difference here, let me just share my screen here and try to share what I'm trying to say here. So what I'll do here is, if you look at from the plane which is moving for three of them, so all of them are made of a circle, and on the left hand side you see is the difference between how with respect to how the radius is getting changed for sphere, cylinder and cone. So now for the cylinder you see the green line, that's a constant, which means the radius of my cone, the radius of my cylinder is basically the constant. If you move up and down, the radius is remaining same, it's remaining constant. What about the cone? You see the red line, that's linearly getting increased with respect to or getting decreased with respect to height if you go from bottom to top. So for the cone, it's linearly, the decrement is linear in my cone for the radius of this circle. And what about the sphere? In the sphere, you can see it's a circular path, or in some sense you can say the curvature is basically sinusoidal with respect to how the angle you are moving for the sphere. This is the difference. So in some sense these three shapes are same, look similar to me, because these are all made of circle. एक के ऊपर एक चूड़ियां पहना दी, ऐसे इस शेप को मान सकते हैं. They are all made of in circles. In another sense, this is the difference between them, कि एक जन का जो है radius constant होता है with respect to height. For another shape, the cone, it's linearly. Somebody was saying it's a sharp, the decrement is sharp. It's not a sharp, but in a mathematical language we can say it's a linear. The difference is linear. And for the sphere, if you plot the graph, it's circular in that sense with respect to height. With respect to angle theta, it would be the sinusoidal. The difference, the curvature, how the radius is getting changed, is basically the sinusoidal. Let me just stop sharing once again. So next time you have a carrot with you, don't just look it up as a of course enjoy your salad and meal, but also try to have this perspective. It's no more a carrot for you, it's also a conical shape for you, and you wanted to have a just like you have done the chopping and try to observe what shape you are getting. If you have a slant cut, try to also do for the cone, that particular carrot, try to chop it from the slant angle and try to analyze what shape you are getting. So खीरा के साथ काम कर लिया, लौकी के साथ काम किया, मौसम्बी के ऊपर चर्चा की. व्हाट वी आर कीपिंग एन ओपन चैलेंज फॉर यू इज दैट आपको जो है वो एक आलू से इस प्रकार से क्यूब काट दीजिए. व्हाट यू डू इज ट्राई टू चॉप often this potato in such a way that you will get a cube. Let me show it in your the overhead here. इसको side रख सकते हैं. So you chop off. I have prepared for the session with respect to the time constraint I have. So what you do is chop off the potato in such a way that you will get a cube. और अब आपको क्या करना है इस क्यूब में? Try to get a hexagonal shape out of this cube. Cut this particular potato cube in such a way that you will get a hexagonal. As you cut it, you get an hexagonal. If I cut it straight, इसको अगर straight बिल्कुल यहां से मैं काट लूं, so I'll get a square only. if I cut from the one of the edge, try to think what the shape you will get. If I cut from the here, इतना chop off कर दूं, you might also get a triangle. But what is the task? What is the challenge for you is cut it in a such a way you will get a regular hexagon. बिल्कुल समबाहु षटकोण जो है वो आपको लाना है अपने इस आलू के अंदर. You have to get a regular hexagonal out of this particular potato. And if I assume the side length of this cube as a 1 unit, the task is to also find the length, side length of my hexagonal. If you are succeeded, try to get a pentagon, and if possible a regular pentagon in this particular cube. How you will get a pentagonal shape or cross section out of this cube, that is what we are keeping in task for you. This is all we have mentioned in the Google form, which the link will gonna share with you. So एक आलू के अंदर आपको क्या लाना है? क्यूब के अंदर हेक्सागन, रेगुलर हेक्सागन और पेंटागन लाने की कोशिश कीजिए. डू शेयर योर वर्क विथ यू whenever you get a chance. So because we have discussed and talked about, and we can keep on going for that. We can keep on continuing, and I can showcase some of the other stuff. But I would like to hear from the audiences about the things we have discussed. Questions जो है हमने इसके ऊपर क्या किया. बिल्लारी GNV बिल्लारी से मुझे दिखा रहे कि उन्होंने आलू चॉप किया. बहुत बढ़िया. The next task is to get the hexagon out of your cube. बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया. All right. हाँ जी, मुर्शिदाबाद. I can see the table of GNV मुर्शिदाबाद बिल्कुल सब्जियों के साथ सजा हुआ है. ऐसी ही होनी चाहिए up to some extent. कक्षा भी. Anishka has made something out of the lauki or kheera. That's great. That's great. So maybe for this next 5 to 10 minutes, I would like to take a pause from my end, and we would like to hear from the audiences about the things we have discussed. या फिर जो भी सवाल है उसमें कहीं पे कुछ डाउट हो, अगर नहीं है तो I can of course share some of the other thing from my end as well. हाँ जी, GNV कटनी की साइड से मुझे दिखा रहे हैं हेक्सागोनल. आई बिलीव इट्स इन हेक्सागोनल दे आर ट्राइंग टू शोकेस. दैट्स ग्रेट, दैट्स ग्रेट. अब आपको नेक्स्ट काम ये भी करना है कि वो हेक्सागोन की साइड क्या होगी वो भी मुझे ढूंढ के बताना है. वंडरफुल, वंडरफुल. ऑल्सो ट्राई टू गेट अ पेंटागन आउट ऑफ योर पोटैटो क्यूब. आई कैन सी सोलापुर गर्ल is also showcasing me something. ये कौन सा आप दिखा रहे हैं? You can unmute yourself as well. I think you should be able to unmute yourself. अच्छा, आप वो प्लस, so I can see plus symbol. All right. आप प्लस दिखा रहे हैं, T दिखा रहे हैं, और all right, और सर्कल दिखा रहे हैं. So what सोलापुर गर्ल्स you have to make an correction here is कि आप जब भी किसी को ये जो T shape है, so let me just clarify the task a bit here. मैं अपने आप को एक बार स्पॉटलाइट रख देता हूं. So whenever you are making a plus or a T, your entire shape should gonna pass from the T. It's not like कि आपको आगे जो है वो T कार्व कर देना, आपका T जो है वो यहाँ से आपने इंसर्ट किया और बिल्कुल बाहर से जो है वो निकल जाना चाहिए. I can see JNV Katni has made something. All right, हाँ जी, T I can see. What about the other shape? Square I can see. All right, what about the third shape? This is the triangle. Great, great. So this is one of the solutions. So such like you have to make your shapes कि जो तीनों के तीनों pieces में से your entire the piece. So for example, if you carve the plus, यहाँ से डाला और इस साइड से निकल जाना चाहिए. It should touch entire perimeter. It should touch the boundary of the plus and can be removed from the other end. तो उस प्रकार से आपको ये वाले तीनों शेप जो है वो बनाने हैं. I can see Shihan and Kavna have done something. All right, so I can see the T plus, but ये सभी जो है वो एक ही शेप में होने चाहिए. I can see the lots of girls no jumping over each other and wanted to share. So what you have to keep in mind is कि आपको जो एक प्लस आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट भी कर सकते हैं. So आप जब प्लस पॉइंट प्लस शेप बनाए और टी बनाए वो अलग अलग नहीं होने चाहिए. They should be same shape which you wanted to which means जो है वो अपने pieces. कौन सी जेएनवी से है आप? At least I was not able to hear them. So Mahek Hirvar is showing me two of her shapes. So this is great. This is plus. This is triangle and cube from the potato. This is great. तो आप जो है वो खीरा या लौकी के साथ भी पांचों में से कोई भी तीन शेप कार्व करके करने की कोशिश कर सकते हैं. फ्रॉम द क्यूब यू कैन ट्राई टू गेट अ हेक्सागोनल एंड पेंटागोनल क्रॉस सेक्शंस. ग्रेट ग्रेट. जीएनवी बेल्लारी से दिखा रहे हैं आलू में से कटा हुआ. दैट्स ग्रेट. आर के सिंह सर का जो अकाउंट है वहां से खूब सारे शेप उन्होंने काट के दिखाए हैं. दिस इज एब्सोल्युटली ब्यूटीफुल. यू कैन ऑल्सो ट्राई टू this is something wonderful. So yeah, so this is T and I can see the letter A as well. तो आप ये भी कोशिश कर सकते हैं कि ये जो क्यूब बनाया हुआ है आपने आलू में से उसमें से ऐसे उसको काटे कि आपको पेंटागोनल और हेक्सागोनल क्रॉस सेक्शन दिख जाए. तो आई कैन सी द पेंटागन यू हैव carved out of an potato, बट आपको क्यूब में से ऐसा कट लगाना है, द सिंगल स्ट्रेट कट. हाँ हाँ. But yeah, so this I can see hexagonal and pentagonal, but क्यूब में से ही क्रॉस सेक्शन करके आप करने का कोशिश कर सकते हैं. Wonderful, wonderful. Here I have two other students as well. So I can see आप कोई भी एक शेप लेके हमें दिखा सकते हैं. Shankar, this is plus from the carry table. बहुत बढ़िया. What about the other shapes? This is T. Wonderful, wonderful. What about the third shape? Thus T and this is triangle. Yeah. तो इसी प्रकार से जो है आप जो है बाकी के पांचों में से कोई भी तीन करिए. Try to get all the 12 combination of 5 shapes. I guess the GN will jump. So this is T. Great.
हमने वही जाकर
Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful to see the work of you girls. बहुत बढ़िया. Wonderful, wonderful. And no, this is great. This is great. हाँ जी. So anybody who wanted to have any question, कोई भी query हो या फिर कुछ भी बताना हो, शेयर करना हो, बिल्कुल अनम्यूट करके जो है वो आप अभी बता सकते हैं. Of course, I have few more things to share, but we would like to hear from your end about the things we have discussed. यहाँ पे कहीं पे भी कुछ डाउट हो तो बिल्कुल आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं. यू कैन शेयर. आई कैन सी जीएनवी बिल्लारी की साइड से उन्होंने जीएनवी लिखा हुआ है. Great. What you can also try to do is, हमने वो किया था and I can search for the videos. You can have from one side you can have a J letter, from another side you can have an N letter, and from the third side you can have a V letter. This is great. This is great. हाँ जी. सोलापुर स्कूल से कोई कुछ कहना चाह रहे हैं? All right. This is T shape. I can see. This is circle. This is square. This is square and the another is T. Wonderful, wonderful. आप बाकी के shapes के लिए भी try कर सकते हैं. This is great. This is great. All right. All right. GNV कटनी से भी वो दिखाना चाह रहे हैं. So this is plus. This is triangle, I believe. And this is square. Great. Wonderful. Wonderful. Similarly, let me just showcase this last slide and then maybe we would like to conclude ourselves. So उसी तरह जब आप अपनी let me just switch it to the Zoom. So जब भी आप अपने just a second. So let me put. तो जब भी आप अपनी भिंडी काटें, ये जरूर देखें कि उसमें आपको कौन सी शेप नजर आ रही है. So whenever you see lady's finger, try to observe which particular shape you are trying to get.
मतलब अभी क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं बीच में तो ऐसा बोलना ठीक है.
Participants into the call. Yeah. So what I was sharing is that whenever you cut your lady's finger, जब भी भिंडी काटे तो जरूर उसमें देखिए कि कौन सा शेप आपको नजर आता है. I could find the pentagonal cross section, pentagon shape मुझे दिखा. Hexagonal cross section भिंडी I could found, and I could also found it a 7-sided भिंडी. आप देखिए कि आपको कौन कौन सी भिंडी नजर आती है. बिल्कुल अपने स्कूल के मेस में जाइए और जब भी भिंडी की सब्जी हो उसके पहले पहुंच जाइए. सब्जियां काटने में और चॉप करने में तो जरूर मदद करवाइए, बट ऑल्सो हैव एन मैथमेटिकल पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ विच शेप यू आर गेटिंग इनटू दिस पर्टिकुलर भिंडी. अगर आपको 8 ऑक्टागोनल या फिर 9 साइडेड क्रॉस सेक्शन, 9 साइडेड पॉलीगॉन वाली अगर आपको भिंडी नजर आए तो बिल्कुल उसे हमारे साथ शेयर कीजिए. डू शेयर योर पिक्चर्स विथ अस through the WhatsApp, through the email ID, and maybe I would like to conclude this by this particular end slides, saying that thank you very much for all your attentions, the time you have spent it, such an involved effort you have tried to make. Of course, I have few more things to show show and share with you, but maybe next time we would like to discuss about it. And this is the email ID where you can share your work with us, share your feedback with us. You have a question, feel free to ask or write to us over this email ID, which is sparklegnv@gmail.com. ये वेबसाइट का नाम है हमारा sparkle-series.web.app, जो सोनल भी आपको शुरुआत में बता रहे थे. वी हैव ऑल्सो पब्लिश्ड एन episode on YouTube as a part of an 30-30 STEM series, which is the episode name is Vegetable Math. You can go over and have a look into some of the other stuff. कि जैसे कि our entire all the maps you see, these all are distorted. मतलब आप जो एक अपना जियोग्राफी की क्लास में जिस मैप के ऊपर काम करते हैं वो सारे गलत जो है वो मैप है. These are all distorted map. मतलब किसी एक देश का जो आप देखेंगे उसमें जितना एरिया है, the actual area is different from what you see. So why there are such a distortion? Why you cannot have a flat surface of a sphere? That is what we have discussed into that particular episode as well apart. And some of the part were some of the things we have showcased or demonstrated to you as a part of that episode was there. तो बिल्कुल आप जाके उस episode को देख सकते हैं, the vegetable math episode, which is there on the YouTube. So and of course you wanted to write or wanted to visit the CCL website. So this is the email ID of CCL website, ccl.iitgn.ac.in. So maybe Sonal, this is maybe we would like to conclude ourselves. समय भी हो गया है, कुछ और चीजें भी अपन कर सकते हैं, but maybe अब maybe we would like to take a pause here.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much. It was such a wonderful sessions and I hope students and teachers सबने बहुत enjoy किया. भाई मैंने तो बहुत enjoy किया. I learned so many new things, shapes from vegetables. So students keep practicing this and next time we just want कि हमारे जैसे जय ने भी बोला, we want our WhatsApp groups and our email ID flooded with your projects and we want all your names on the Hall of Fame. So keep sharing your projects and videos, everything with us and keep practicing, keep learning. So we will meet soon. Okay then. If anyone wants to share anything, they are most welcome. We have 2-3 minutes. So if anyone wants, they can share. किसी को कोई भी एक्सपीरियंस कुछ भी शेयर करना हो तो प्लीज यू आर मोस्ट वेलकम.
Showing pieces you have carved out of your vegetables, which is wonderful.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon.
This is from JNP Murshidabad.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
ma'am.
Thank you everyone for joining.
We, the students of JNP Murshidabad, appreciate your efforts. We love this session. We also viewed this 30-30 STEM. It was shown to us by our Manisha. We also enjoyed it. We all enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We are so happy to hear this.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you everyone. Thank you for your enthusiastic
JNP Murshidabad
participation.
appreciates it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, then we'll end the session. And we have shared the web page link in the chat also. So if you can access the assignment from that and you can do all the assignments there. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.